Yo.
My guy, big tips.
All right, we're ready. Guzu versus Zico. Here we go.
Wait, is the flag down?
The flag is down. We're ready to duel up. All right.
Oh my god.
The Torrent made it, dude. Oh my god, that's actually hilarious, dude. Oh my god. Okay. He actually made it. That's actually hilarious. Okay, here we go.
That is insane. I commend that guy for that, actually.
I do as well.
He's committed. He's committed, man.
He is committed to trolling. He's committed to trolling.
I think so. Was Mcconnell Trollgodx? So how did that, what happened in Tips's tournament? So there were like these Tauren that were like jumping on top of everybody, is that right? I just want to make sure that I've got all my facts straight. So there were Tauren that were jumping on top of everyone, got teleported by a GM. He got banned. More Spurgs? Yeah, I mean, I think that they should have banned him, personally. Like, if I was a GM, I would have banned him immediately. That kind of shit, like, I don't know why, it's like, what does Blizzard get out of letting somebody do that? You know, it's not really fair. Okay, okay, just a second, where the fuck is he? Okay, we got it. Yeah, of course they're gonna ban him. Yeah, anyway. It's on Tremor Totem, so they were untargetable. I mean, that's pretty.
Wait a second, hold on, wait. You think they should have banned him immediately?
Yeah, of course. Well, not immediately, but like after like 5 minutes or so, yeah.
Push to talk, idiot.
Just a minute.
Who cares? You're gonna lose.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not gonna lose, and he didn't hear that because
there's no way you win. There's no way.
He didn't trap me at the beginning.
Yeah, he threw.
Yeah, I mean that was more his fault than mine that outcome happened.
So you actually think you should have been banned?
Yeah, of course. I mean, he's like intentionally trying to ruin the event.
Well, so what? It's a PvP server.
It had nothing to do with PvP. He was the same faction.
So they could have gone somewhere else.
Yeah, but he could have gone and just followed them.
Yeah, but if they went to the Gurubashi arena, they could have killed him there.
Yeah, but then other people could have killed him too. Like, it could have just been the same thing. Like, I don't think that people, like, if somebody makes a direct and deliberate attempt to sabotage an event that you're trying to hold, yeah, I think you should get banned. Like, because they're intentionally doing it.
What about the funeral bomb?
Well, that's a little bit different because it was actually PvP. I think that what the difference is, right? I'm not saying that he should get banned for PvP. Like, this is completely two separate things. If they're making an event, and he's trying to sit on top of the totems to make them untargetable, that has nothing to do with PvP.
But there are player solutions to this problem without Blizzard intervening.
Why should Blizzard not enter? Like, this person.
Because that's the whole point of a PvP server, is that you get to do this shit.
Well, no, because if you have to go over to another area, you're effectively cooperating with the other faction. So, like, cooperating with the other faction should not be a solution, right? Whenever you have to do that, you're like, okay, well, I'm going to go over here, and then hopefully somebody from the other faction is going to attack him. That's effectively cooperating. Am I wrong?
I mean, it sounds like you don't really want a PvP server. You just want, like, a Care Bear, everybody, like, works together.
Well, it would be the same thing. Like, it would be the same thing. Like, if it was a PvP server or a PvE server.
You could go to a contested zone. You could go to the Gurubashi arena.
Yeah, you could.
You have options without involving Blizzard.
Yeah, but, like, why should this person be able to just intentionally harass the tournament? Like, why is that a positive thing? Like, why should Blizzard allow that?
It doesn't have to be positive. There are player solutions without involving Blizzard. Just like, were there any positive outcomes, really, besides a funny YouTube video to the funeral bombing? Not really. It was mean, it was cruel. It was
a PvP event. Like, what I'm saying is that if you have to involve the other faction to solve a problem, right, or go into the Gurubashi arena or something like that to kill them, I don't even see why this is how is this even a question? This person created a character specifically with the intent to disrupt and make an event more difficult to do, and the Blizzard should just let that happen. Why is this one person's ability to ruin everybody else's fun and enjoyment more important than 100,000 other people's ability to just watch the tournament?
Hold on, here's S-Man.
It's fucking retarded. Of course I wouldn't do that.
Wait, what happened?
Like,
they're upset about Trollgodx.
Yeah, no, I would ban him immediately. I would have banned him 100%. 100%.
Like, there's a point at which, like, this has been talked about like 1,000 times. Blizzard has always done this, right? There's like a point where it's like you're doing something, right? You're playing the game, and then there's a point where it becomes griefing, right?
Yeah.
There's always like
he's obviously griefing. He's sitting on the totem. Like, how's that not griefing?
Yeah, there's a line there. There's definitely a line there.
Does anybody genuinely think that's not griefing?
How do you determine griefing though? Like, if I camp someone,
I would determine griefing by standing on top of the totems. Like, how's that even a question?
I
think it's subjective.
It's not subjective at all. Like that's not subjective at all. Like, you're standing on top of the totems.
If you go to STV and camp someone for 5 hours straight, do you think they should be, you should be banned for that or suspended for that? If you camp someone for 5 hours straight and they can do nothing about it?
I'm not talking about that. Like, it's the same as like in retail WoW, whenever somebody gets on their mammoth and they sit on top of somebody's fishing bobber. And then if you do that, Blizzard will ban you. Because it's obviously griefing. Like, you're doing that specifically to grief them. Like, does anybody genuinely feel like there's any other purpose of sitting on top of a totem besides griefing?
Yeah, and that's the thing.
Like, he's obviously doing it to disrupt the game. Like,
right.
I don't see...
I mean, I agree with that, but I'm saying griefing in general. Griefing in general is subjective, right? Like, you have to look at everything... Like from on a case by case basis.
Well, of course it's subjective, but like there are more black and more white instances, right? I would say corpse camping somebody is generally okay, and going around and sitting or standing on top of somebody's fishing bobber over and over and over, and then on top of that standing on totems in the dueling tournament, yeah, that's clearly griefing.
Is there an extent at which, like, let's say corpse camping, right? Is there an extent at which it becomes griefing? Like, is there a certain amount of time? Because I do think at a certain amount of time, it probably does become griefing. But what if that time, right?
Like, I don't know. The thing is, like, everything is okay if you're only doing it, like, once or twice, right? And I think
that's pretty much how I feel.
It's like if the guy comes and he sits on the totems for, like, 3 or 4 minutes, like, who gives a fuck, right? But if this is something, if this is an ongoing 3 or 4 hour thing, no, it's way too much. That's way too fucking much. Joey being scared now I rogue that was following him in stealth. Yeah, I mean, they're obviously trying to disrupt the tournament, right?
What about you bringing the dragon to Stormwind? Is that not disruptive, and could that not have hurt other players' enjoyment of the game?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, like, so all right, well, let's talk about that. I think that's a good point you're trying to bring up. So the reason that I didn't want to do the thing, and I know this is the same reason you guys felt too, that you didn't want to do the thing that I did, where, like, I was going to hold the city hostage until everybody gave me the gold, is because you guys thought that was griefing, right? Right, yeah, okay. So, that was, I mean, it was clearly, like, obviously a bad thing to do. And, I would not really consider the, like, pulling the dragon to Stormwind at the beginning a bad thing. And again, it's about, like, the amount of time that you're spending doing this. Like, if you're doing this, like, for maybe 10 minutes or, like, 30 minutes... I think that's one thing, but if you're doing it for like 3 hours, that's something else. And I think it matters like how long you're dedicating time.
Hey, here's another guy with an opinion.
Okay.
Hello? Yeah, it's Staysafe. Go ahead.
Wait, I heard you're arguing about the...
He is. Go ahead with your point.
Well, what's your guys' points? Let me catch me up.
Oh, I think Blizzard should have banned it.
Oh, I totally disagree.
Okay, why?
I mean, how are you going to argue you should ban someone for standing in a spot that's inconvenient to you, right? That's my point.
Because they're doing it consistently and intentionally to disrupt what you're doing.
I will say this: there's literally only one reason to stand in that spot.
What is the other purpose?
There's literally only one reason to stand specifically in that spot. There's no other purpose. Now, I'm in the camp that it's like, look, if you do it a couple times, like, okay, dude, chill
Yeah,
out, right?
it's fine. Like, I mean, if you do it for like 5 or 10 minutes, who cares? But this is like an ongoing 3 or 4 hour thing.
So, like, where do you extend that to, and where do you draw the line? So let's say I'm camping someone for 3 hours. Would you ban that person also?
See, that's where I'm saying it's like you just kind of know when you know.
I don't think that we
thing
need
is
to make a
subjective.
slippery slope argument to understand that there's a very clear intent whenever you're sitting on top of a totem in a dueling tournament. This is very, very obvious what they do.
Well,
Like,
it's,
let's not
targeted
beat around the
annoyance,
bush.
right? It's habitual annoyance. So, what else do you extend this philosophy of banning people for targeted habitual annoyance? Like, what do you extend that to?
Well, let's say somebody, like, this is like really common back in Wrath whenever people had the mammoth mounts, is they would get
Right.
in the mammoth mount and then they would stand on top of your fishing bobber so you couldn't fit. I would extend it to that. And Blizzard agrees with me, by the way, because they do suspend people for that.
Well, they've done this forever.
Like,
I remember
and
even
this
back-
isn't this isn't my opinion. This is Blizzard's opinion.
So, but they didn't ban the guy. They moved him, right? They teleported the winter spring.
Well, okay, let me rephrase. If they remove it from happening, if they stop it from happening, I don't care if they ban him or not, really. I mean, if it was me, I would ban him, but I'm also an asshole, so, like, moving him is fine as well.
Yeah, I probably would just move. Like, if the guy's
Yeah.
being annoying, look, I play Retribution Paladin, okay? Eye for an eye. If the guy is, like, playing a level 1 Tauren, and he's doing that and being annoying, I would just take him and I would drop him in, like, Dark Whisper Gorge or something. Just,
Yeah.
like, that's just what I would do. Like, I probably wouldn't ban him unless, like, he kept doing it over and over again. But, I mean, I think that would pretty much deter him right away. It's like, yeah, I'm just gonna put you on the other side
Yeah.
of the world.
I'll try to meet you halfway, and I'll ask you this: like, do you think that before they ban him, if you think they should ban him, do you think they should first contact him and ask him to stop first before they ban him?
No, personally, I don't think so. Because
I think
it's so... I
think
feel like
warning
it's almost
before
playing... Because he knows what he's doing, right? I mean, he knows what he's doing. I feel like there should be, like, a zero tolerance for people going out of their way to harass him, right?
So, okay,
go ahead.
let me say this. I'll bring this up.
Like, honestly,
when we were-
and this is... Let me, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I want to say one thing.
fine.
If they did give him a warning, I think that's fine, right? It's like... The reason that I kind of probably feel that way is, like, I just think it's really stupid, right? But, I mean, I would be fine with a warning. It's not like I would be upset if they gave him a warning, if that makes sense.
Okay, I agree with that. I do think, like, before anything else happens, they should probably contact him.
Yeah.
As a warlock, one thing I love to do is go to Goldshire or low-level zones and drop infernals. I love that. I think it's hilarious. You banish the infernal, if someone tries to kill it. I think that's hilarious, and it kills the questing mobs, and I love griefing like that.
Right.
And so I asked Ian and Omar when we were in California last month or whatever if that's allowed, and they said, yeah, why not?
Yeah, but Ian also followed it up with saying, like, there is an extent to where it gets too much.
Well, yeah, and that's what I'm talking about. So you remember, you were a warlock. Did you or did you not banish elementals that other people were killing in the Elemental Plateau and Burning Crusade?
Yeah, absolutely.
Same.
Yeah.
And you know what they did to me? They suspended me because it was clearly griefing.
All right.
I mean, I feel like there's a certain amount of intellectual dishonesty that's going on.
No, okay, here's the difference, right?
Okay.
With the situation that happened last night, is there an in-game player solution to the issue? And the issue is yes. There are other places the duel tournament could have happened. Like, so there is an in-game solution to the issue. Like, could they have taken time to organize a duel tournament in a high-level contested zone or in a duel arena and had player bodyguards that killed anyone that came into the Trollgodx arena? I think there are in-game player solutions before you run to an authority figure to solve your problem for you.
I think at that point, and also it doesn't really matter about the solution, right? And it does to an extent, but to the extent that I think that he's doing it, I feel like he's obviously doing something with a negative intent. I mean, he literally named his character Trollgodx. Like, why are we siding? Why are we siding with someone who's dedicating their time to ruining other people's experience for a 5-hour period? And like, that's really, I think that's the main thing, is that he's doing this for, like, hours.
Well, here's
I mean,
the deal, man. Like, you've talked about your ninja looting past, right? Let's say you're in a dungeon for 5 hours,
Right.
you're working as a team, and something drops, and I'm a warrior, and I ninja loot a fucking caster wand or something, and then I go vendor it.
Yeah.
That's just as much of a time waste for everyone, right? Like, so I don't like ninja looting. I don't like that this guy was griefing the tournament, but I like that Classic WoW offers that decision making and that player agency for him to choose to be a bad guy.
Okay, so there's a
Well,
number of
here's the
things that
thing.
are different with that.
There's
Number
no
one,
accountability.
well,
This is
yeah,
the biggest-
number one, there's no accountability. Number two, you have to make some sort of a conscious decision to allow that player into your group that could or that could not potentially ninja loot. So there's no way that you could just say, okay, well, I'm going to just randomly have... It's the difference between having one of your party members ninja loot something or having any player on the server that wants to ninja loot something. Because there is a conscious decision to allow that player into your party and give them the permission to actually make that decision, then I think that it's more okay. On top of that, it still would be against the rules, and there were many times that I was very worried about getting reported or getting in trouble for ninja looting, because there have been people that were banned for it. So I think that in the instances that it is actually really bad, you're right. Like, Blizzard does do something about it. And the instances that it's not, I feel like it's a lot more nuanced than that, because players are making their own decisions. There was no player that made a decision to allow Trollgodx into the area to play with him.
So that's where I would disagree. That's where I have a contention. They chose to have the tournament in a spot that is accessible by a level 1 troll, right?
Right.
You could prepare enough and have the tournament in Gurubashi or the Dire Maul Arena, and you could have like 30 or 40 level 30 guards that are standing there murking everyone that runs in, and like there would be a different set of issues that arise, but it would negate that issue, right?
Well,
So, yeah,
I think that if you want to look at it from a specific issue standpoint, like, yeah, there are other things that they could have done, and maybe those things would have solved that problem, but it would have created other problems. But if you look at it as an abstract, as this individual is deliberately spending time to ruin other people's play experience, right? That's effectively what's happening. And it's like if I was going through and I was ninja looting items all day, every day, constantly, I feel like there is, for one, there's accountability, because I'd obviously have to be max level to do that. And then the second difference would be that I think Blizzard probably would suspend it. Like, if I was Blizzard, I would suspend somebody for doing that, because they're just ruining everybody else's time. And this is, again, something that
maybe
Blizzard
you're right.
does.
I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. I'm unaware, though, of Blizzard banning people from ninja looting.
They do, absolutely. They have. Like, this is something, that's why, like, usually, so there were a couple of different things, right? Sometimes they would remove the loot. They would almost never redistribute loot, and then sometimes they would suspend the person that stole all the gear, right? And each one was, like, a little bit less possible than the other. And they would basically never redistribute. Yeah, that's
So here's
about
the
it.
thing.
Is there like a famous case of that happening? I've just never heard of that.
I'd have to find one. But yeah, I'm like 99% sure. Because I remember this is something that I thought about all the time whenever I was playing. But I mean, I don't have a link to one right now.
Yeah, that's fine.
Because like it's all second. It's like even if somebody says they got banned for ninja looting, that doesn't mean they got banned for ninja looting, right? Because like they can just say whatever they want.